The challenging art of transporting convicts is faced not only on a national scale by Con Air, but also on a much smaller level, within the walls of America's penitentiaries. Nowhere is this challenge more daunting, perhaps, than at the Pelican Bay State Prison in California. A 275-acre facility located near the Oregon border, Pelican Bay is designed to isolate nearly 4,000 of the state's most violent inmates.
Welcome to another episode, everyone. And as you can see, we're going deep inside Pelican Bay Maximum Security Prison, the most violent, dangerous prison in the state of California. One of the most violent. I say High Desert State Prison is, but Pelican Bay is right there. Extremely deadly, violent gang riots, race riots, gang retaliations, bloody removals from the yard.
State prison is referred to as housing the worst of the worst.
In order to transport such volatile convicts between various facilities over the far-flung prison compound, corrections officers here rely on uniquely designed equipment and well-rehearsed procedures. To move the dozens of inmates each day required to go to Pelican Bay's medical clinics, guards use a special lockdown bus, a mobile prison inside the walls.
Maximum 10 inmates on the bus at one time to take them to the clinic or to return them back. Little cages here to prevent them from spitting or spearing or anything such.
The bus is checked frequently to make sure no contraband has been stashed and that nothing has been removed which may be fashioned into a weapon. Security is further enhanced by the lack of any centralized bus stop where convicts could gather and come into conflict with each other or with guards.
So as we can see, this is very high tech, very high security. They strip these individuals out, these so-called inmates out at every turn. This is here in the SHU program, the Security Housing Unit. One of the toughest places to do time in the world would be the Pelican Bay SHU or the Corcoran SHU. Here at the Pelican Bay SHU, these individuals were stuck inside of the SHU program for many, many years.
Service is door to door. Lieutenant Ben Grundy has been with Pelican Bay since its inception in 1991.
Security is very high at this prison. You'll notice when you go in and come out, you have to go through a number of checks, number of what we call sally port, double gates, and numerous doors that are electronically operated.
Even when convicts are moved simply on foot, they are subjected to the tightest possible security standards. Inmates are searched for weapons each time they move outside their cell block. Some go to extreme measures to move weapons and contraband.
We want the inmate to...
That, of course, was the metal detector, and they do it just like, if they don't strip you out, which in the SHU program, they're going to strip you out before you even leave your cell. But in some of these situations, if they do not strip you out, then they just bend you over like they just did, handcuff you, bend you over, and run the metal detector behind you to see if you have something inside of you or whatever, cheeked, if you will. And then you have to lift your shoes up one shoe at a time, and they run the metal detector on the back of your shoe to see if you have any steel, any metal there, i.e. a weapon.
Take off his clothes so we can check all his body orifices, look in his mouth, look in his ears. We have them stand there. They bend down so we can see between their legs, and they spread their buttocks so that we can make sure that they don't have anything secreted.
Yes.
Another officer will take a handheld metal detector. We'll have the inmate bend over at the waist, and he'll wand his backside because he usually tries to secrete something. Basically, they're placing weapons in their buttocks. and in the rectal cavity.
Inmates manufacture weapons out of any piece of material they can get their hands on.
Yes, inmates have been known to manufacture weapons, but look at all of these weapons right here. This any one of these weapons, of course, could kill you, could kill anyone. And when they come at you with these weapons, they're coming ferociously. They're coming to take you out. They're coming looking to do damage. So you couple that with the fact that these weapons are mighty sharp, you have handles on them where these individuals can get a good grip, and the chances of your survival are minimized.
They can get their hands on.
They're masters at hiding weapons. Some of them probably do have weapons, and we miss that. But that's just the nature of the game.
As tightly guarded as these prisoners
Yes, indeed. Many individuals have been known to secret weapons inside of their backside, all the way inside. Sometimes the weapon has gone up to their cavity, to their stomach, and twist and turn. They had to have surgery to immediately remove the weapon, all sorts of things. And then, of course, individuals make it out to the yard with the weapon secreted in their backside, secreted in their backside, and then they go somewhere near a toilet right there on the yard, get it out from where it is stuck in, and take care of business, attack whoever they brought the weapon out for.
are on the so-called main line. Pelican Bay boasts a facility that is even more restrictive. The Secure Housing Unit, or the SHU, is essentially a prison within a prison.
The purpose of the security housing unit is to remove the inmates that are causing problems or committing felonies from the general population. They have demonstrated that they can't function in that environment without acting out or causing people around them harm or attempting to prey on them. So they're removed from the general population and they're locked up.
Here, prisoners are locked in their cells 23 hours a day. Everything they need to serve their sentence is contained here. There is no out of doors.
Inside of the security housing unit, or the SHU, inmates are escorted everywhere they go.
Everywhere these predatory offenders move within the SHU, they are always under the watchful eye
Oh,
of the
man, knock it off. These predatory offenders. I don't like this sort of vernacular. For those who may not know, for those who are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, The Inside Story with me, Damian Porter. I've done over 30 years of incarceration. Did 7 straight years in High Desert State Prison, which is indeed the most violent prison in the state of California. Pelican Bay is running neck to neck with that. These individuals are not necessarily predators or have exhibited predatory behaviors. Some of them have just made mistakes. And the SHU program has been outlawed since, in the sense that they cannot, because at first, for some time, decades even, they were putting gang leaders inside of the SHU program there in maximum security prison, Pelican Bay, Corcoran, Tehachapi SHU, so-called gang leaders, as to help to mitigate the violence on side of the yards, on the prison yards. Nevertheless, of course, this practice did not minimize the violence on the yard, because the gang leaders were still able to get word out to the prison yard, since they were still in prison, and were able to still function and run the prison yards from inside of the SHU program. And there was a hunger strike. People, even celebrities, began to believe that the SHU program is a form of torture. The Pelican Bay SHU and other SHU programs, Corcoran SHU, and etc. And human rights activists has deemed it a form of torture and said that individuals who have survived the SHU program should be recognized as torture survivors. I did 3 years and 2 months in the SHU program, 38 months for something I did not even do. So I sympathize with these individuals, but clearly this footage is from some years ago, and the practice is no longer held. They still have SHU programs for individuals who commit certain crimes while they're in prison, but they're not just taking people to the SHU program saying that you're a gang leader and we're going to investigate for 15 years. And some of these individuals work back there in the SHU program for 15 years, 20 years, 10 years. They don't do that anymore, thankfully, because it is a form of torture and these individuals are still human beings.
On a catwalk above. Anticipating violent outbursts, the guards protect themselves with armored vests designed to repel knife attacks.
Due to the level of these inmates and their violence, there's always a possibility to be stabbed or speared or attacked. In a security housing unit, all officers are mandated to wear the vest.
When an inmate is escorted in the SHU, he is never allowed to precede a correctional officer through a doorway. To prevent contact between inmates, the officer will always make sure the area is clear before proceeding with his prisoner. Prisoners are strip searched every time they leave their cells. A transport to the library within the SHU requires yet another extreme security precaution.
They'll be hooked together. With the chain that hooks them together, we can use less staff to move more inmates.
I mean, just look at that. Isn't that reminiscent of a time in American history? I mean, this is just crazy, really. This is high security, and they justified these sort of acts chaining human beings up together, walking in a line chained up because of the language that the narrator used earlier, saying that these individuals were of a predatory nature. They are not. They're no more predatory than the individuals who are putting the chains on them.
Give the inmates access to all the legal materials so they can file their cases. They review the books there, turn the books back in, and then they return to their cells.
Allowed only 30 minutes inside the library, convicts are strip searched yet again before they are returned.
That's a whole lot of
They're allowed to
searching.
bring back 3 sheets of paper.
A whole lot of strip searching.
That's all they're allowed to bring back.
Very high security.
By a unit so that they can't pass information on from unit to unit to unit.
Oddly enough, even with all of the strip searching and all of that, individuals still, of course, have weapons.
It's just our attempt to try to keep down the gang information flow. We do it as good as we can. We know it still gets around.
Even prisoners in the SHU are sometimes required to be moved outside Pelican Bay's secure walls for court appearances or medical appointments. As level 4 inmates, the highest security risks, they are then subjected to an even greater security measure.
Even within the institution, they have to be escorted. But when they leave the institution, it's a whole another matter. The vehicle that they're in effect, becomes a prison on wheels. We do not have the luxury of the fence as a perimeter, nor do we have the prison walls. It's not business as usual. It's very serious, and they're still dealing with a level 4 convicted felon that they need to get back inside of the walls.
Pelican Bay is probably one of the most secure prisons in the state of California. Really, the only time anybody would have
This is horrible.
breaking somebody out is when we're out on one of these transports.
This is horrible living.
The prison convoy.
This is not even living. This is a horrible way to live. So even when you're being transported, and I've been through that, and I've been on these buses and vans, and indeed they have cages inside of the transportation, inside of the van, inside of the prison bus. So everywhere that you're transported, you're shackled up and still inside of a cage. You can barely sit down in there. There's not much room, and it's just horrific. If you have any sense of human feeling, any sense of humanity or self-love, then you don't want to go through something like this.
Affected exhaustively inside the Sally Port, a double-gated checkpoint where everything going in or out of the prison must first be authorized. Here, officers are issued weapons for their venture outside the walls.
Anytime you take out a level 4, it's 1 sergeant, 3 officers, and everybody's armed. We don't give them any prior notice. That way, there's less chance of them being able to notify anybody on the outside that they're out, and less chance of an escape attempt.
On this day, the transportation team is moving inmates to a local hospital for appointments with heart specialists. minimize the chance of an ambush by a convict's accomplices lying in wait along the road, officers vary their route daily, avoiding predictability.
Anything can go wrong when you're outside of the walls. You have to be careful about what could be a staged event. You could have a cuff key inside of a body cavity and try to take off its restraints.
Throughout their venture outside the walls, inmates are never out of a correctional officer's sight.
Yeah, of course they can. You've done that before. Inmates have gotten out of their handcuffs before with makeshift handcuff keys and stabbed guards. This is an occurrence inside of prison, a maximum security prison even. Inmates have been known to get a hold of a handcuff key, whether it's a makeshift one or a real one, but even the makeshift one, they are able to get it to work. It is effective. They have come out of their handcuffs on many occasions and attacked either a guard or another inmate.
The unarmed officer actually has hands on the inmate. The armed officer just follows at a safe distance to provide gun coverage in case the inmate tries something.
The Pelican Bay transportation officers have mastered the art of moving society's most dangerous criminals, just like their counterparts aboard Con Air.
Wow. All right, there you have it, Pelican Bay State Prison. One of the most dangerous, top 3 most dangerous prisons in California for sure. One of the most secure, high-tech, well, not necessarily high-tech, originating in 1991, but high security for sure, as we can see. Everything is controlled. You are escorted everywhere that you go by multiple correctional officers. You are searched, stripped all the way down to nothing, searched for weapons and such. And it's hard to do anything in this sort of controlled, high security environment. Not everyone can survive this. Not everyone has survived this. Some individuals were not strong enough, if strength has anything to do with it, to survive. The best remedy is to stay out, never find yourself in this sort of situation. There's nothing fun about being in prison. It's a miserable experience. And again, you're not guaranteed to make it out once you find yourself in there. Think about that before you do anything. Stay safe and stay free, people.